This video is brought to you by IXL, used by millions of students worldwide to get ahead in math, English, and more.
In this video, we'll explore how to read and understand workplace emails and memos, two of the most common ways people communicate on the job. Knowing how to read and understand these messages is a must-have skill. Let's get to it. We'll start by checking out this email. First of all, we can gather some important information from the header of the email. Look here. This tells us the email was sent to all staff members at the company's Asheville office, and this tells us it was sent by Janine Sproutwell, who is the facilities manager. And the subject line reads, Office Plant Care. That gives us an idea of what this email will be about. All right, now let's read the body of the email. It says, Hi everyone. Our office plants, Gerald the Ficus, Fernando Bloom, and Cactus Everdeen, bring life and fresh air to our workplace. To ensure they continue to thrive, we are introducing a rotating office-wide plant care schedule beginning next week. Each week, an assigned team member will be responsible for the following: watering plants appropriately, avoid overwatering, rotating plants to provide even sunlight exposure, removing any wilted leaves or debris from pots. The weekly schedule will be posted in the break room. If you are unable to complete your assigned week, please arrange to swap weeks with another team member and inform me of the change. Thank you for helping us keep our plants healthy for all to enjoy. And look, the email ends with a closing and signature from Janine. Okay. So what's the main purpose of this email? Well, here, the email explains that all team members will be tasked with caring for the office plants on a weekly rotating schedule. Then, it goes on to list the specific tasks expected of each assigned individual during their week of plant care. So, the purpose of this email is to announce a new system for taking care of the office plants. Nice. Now, say you're an employee and your upcoming vacation time falls during your assigned week of plant care. In cases like this, what should you do if you're unable to carry out your plant care duties? Let's see. Well, look here. It says, if you are unable to complete your assigned week, please arrange to swap weeks with another team member and inform me of the change. So in this case, first, you should find a team member who is willing to swap weeks with you. Then, you should inform Janine Sproutwell of the change in the schedule. That sounds like a reasonable plan. All right, let's move on. Next, we'll check out an example of a workplace memo which was sent as an email. We see that it was sent to members of the sales team at Karma Motors Auto Dealership from Miles Gravelson, the Director of Sales. And the subject reads, Quarter 1 Employee Performance Review. The body of the memo says, Dear team, Quarter 1 employee self-evaluations are due Monday, April 15th, as part of our quarterly performance review process. When completing your self-evaluation, highlight specific accomplishments from the quarter, including measurable results whenever possible. Also, provide examples of how you built customer relationships or contributed to the team's success during this period. Once you submit your self-evaluation in the worker portal, your supervisor will review your submission and add their own evaluation. Then, your supervisor will schedule a performance review meeting to discuss your results and help you set goals for the next quarter. If you have any questions about the performance review process, please contact Human Resources. Thank you for your thoughtful participation. These evaluations are a valuable tool for recognizing achievements and planning for continued growth. And look, it ends with a signature from Miles. All right, what's the main purpose of this memo? Let's break it down. The subject is Quarter 1 Employee Performance Review, and the first two paragraphs provide details about employee self-evaluations, like when to submit them and what to include. But that's not all the memo discusses. The next paragraph mentions the steps that will happen after those self-evaluations are submitted. So it seems like the entire review process is covered. And then this paragraph tells employees to reach out to human resources if they have any questions about it. So, putting all this together, it seems that the main purpose of this memo is to inform employees about the process for the upcoming quarterly performance review. Okay, now let's answer this question. When will an employee's supervisor schedule a performance review meeting? Let's see. Where is this mentioned in the memo? Oh, I see it right here. So looking at the full paragraph, it says that when the employee submits their self-evaluation, the supervisor will review it and add their own evaluation, and then the supervisor will schedule a meeting. So a supervisor will schedule a performance review meeting after reviewing the employee's self-evaluation and adding their own evaluation of the employee's performance. That makes sense. In conclusion, knowing how to read and understand emails and memos is a skill that will help you in the workplace, but also in everyday life. Now, the next time an email shows up in your inbox, you'll know exactly how to handle it.
Head over to IXL.com for more practice on this skill and thousands more videos in math and language arts.